Hello and welcome, fellow tankers. Last video I talked about the overall tank balancing in World of Tanks, which is a big problem, but today I want to talk about the maps, which is the second big problem in World of Tanks. Tank balancing and the maps are the bread and butter of the whole game, and Wargaming should definitely focus on those two things the most to be improved, so everyone has a pleasant game experience. Let's talk about every map and put them in a tier list. I will start today with the map Highway, which I kind of like and I kind of hate. It's difficult because the thing is, if you start here, let's say at this spawn, you can normally just go to this area here and shoot then to this direction, where the tank destroyer normally standing in those bushes here. So with a fast or a medium tank, you only have the option to go normally into this area kind of and try to play the northern part of the map. And if you are in a heavy tank, you're basically only can go here and then stay around this area. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a high quality resolution version of the map. I have some of them, but for some maps I just have a normal quality map, so I hope you don't mind. Yeah, if you are here in this area, you can normally just wait until the enemy comes, and you have to little bit side scrape, or in some niches you can play hull down, but it's overall pretty stupid, I think, because if you just stay here, the whole enemy team would go here, and in this area they can be shot pretty easily. So that's the problem with this map for the south spawn. Normally if a team would play at best, they just stand here, wait for the enemy to come, and you can stay here a little bit, and yeah, the other team spawns around this area here, of course, and you can put some light tanks in here, or even closer to that area if you can reach this bush or something like this. And then normally faster tanks try to go up here to this area, and then they are trying to shoot you to this direction. And the heavy tanks, they just go straight away to the city. Normally, they drive around here, and then there's the big battlefield here. But many times you see now that people are just standing here and wait, because they can shoot like through the whole side of the map like this. It's a little bit cheap, but okay, that's my map drawing skills. So all in all, the map normally just is all the time the same. Normally you go through south, there, and there. Or you go just through north with medium tanks there, or to the city. It's always the same. Sometimes people stand here, you can try this with a tank destroyer or something like this. And normally if you lose the south, when you start at the south, wrong colors. If you start at the south spawn, you can just outcamp them here. If you lose as the north spawn in the city, things are a little bit more difficult. You have like to try to block them somehow here around this area. So I think it's actually, if played well, it's easier for the south spawn. Because if you just stand here and outcamp them, they can't do much actually. But in most cases, the northern spawn has the advantage because you can put some light tanks in those regions here, and also you can push the south city. And normally the enemies come here and they get beaten, but then you can't push here anymore because they are camping there. So that's a bad situation. So in the end, normally your medium tanks then go through the north and attack them from both sides. So it's normally always the same. So how would I rate this map? In the end, I have to say it's nothing special, but it's not as worse as it can be. So I would put it in B tier. It's always the same, like I said. It can become a little bit stale, but I still like somehow the openness of the map, and that you can do a little bit something with medium tanks and light tanks. But yeah, this heavy tanks gameplay suffers greatly, so it's definitely B or even C tier, but I would still put it on a decent map, which can be played without too much pain. Let's take a look at the second map, Karelia. Well, kind of a stupid map, I have to say. If you start at the south spawn, you can try to put some light tanks around this area, the middle part. The enemy will do the same somewhere here, and medium tanks sometimes do this as well. You could have the option if your team wants to push the northern part, but the problem is it's a dead end here. Because enemy tanks will be there and there and there maybe, and can just shoot through the whole map around here. That's a big problem. Also, if you go through the south spawn, you just normally end as a, for example, tank destroyer in this area, and some heavy tanks stand here, and they stand here. Enemy team stands there, maybe there a little bit, and it's all about that area here. Everyone's battling for this, because then you can shoot like over the whole map. Well, what can you say? Well, it's like a two-corridor map in the end, and normally the northern corridor is not even played anymore very much, because there's no, even if you win with a blue team here, it's a dead end here. You can't go any further. So that's the problem. And yeah, everything decides in the south, but the south is like very hull down or side scraping dominant, of course, and yeah, it doesn't really work. If you're a tank destroyer, maybe you have the best chances to shoot from the sneaky areas here just into the enemy tanks, and then you can hope to reach that higher area. And then if somehow it's decided to win the mountain area here, it gets a little bit more interesting, because then you can snipe through the middle of the game, yeah, through the middle of the map, and maybe also in the enemy base. But all in all, I think this is a pretty bad map because it is almost impossible to play it actively. Just if you're a light tank with very high camo and the enemy light tank is dead, you play the middle central area. But all in all, it's such a camp fest, somehow really painful to play. So how would I rate this map? Actually, it's something D or C tier actually. Well, maybe C tier because it becomes more playable in the late game, but I have to say because it's such a camp fest and it can be such a disgusting map if nobody tries to play active and makes mistakes, so the enemy team actually gets the advantage. It's actually D tier, I have to say. It's a very bad map in my opinion. The third map is Malinovka. Let's talk about this. If you're wondering what those white circles are, this is just the base spawn points for either normal base maps or encounter modes or something like this, so don't mind them. Well, just to help you to see where the bases can be and the starting points. So Malinovka, well, interesting map, I would say. I wouldn't say it's an awesome map because it can be very campy. And actually, let's maybe first talk about this. The big problem is if you spawn at the northern part here, you will have campers here, of course. The enemy team have some campers here. So central field almost impossible to play. And your heavy tanks will go up here, of course. And there's the big crushing zone because, of course, southern spawn will go up here as well. That's not a big problem. They fight here, hull down mostly. But you will have some campers also in this area here. And you will have some campers in this area here. And that's it. Whereas a big standoff in the south, nobody is doing anything. We will have some light tanks trying to spot the enemy team in the middle part. So around in this part here, it's actually a death center. And the light tank who will try to push around here normally dies. When it's decided in the north, the team who wins the north crush will stop around here or will stop around here. Because they can't push any further. The whole team camps in the mountain area. This whole team camps in this mountain area. So actually, it's a nice, in theory, a nice map to play. Especially as a light tank. But it always goes the same way. It ends in people hiding in the forest and are almost impossible to spot if you're not a normally decently skilled light tank. Or the enemy team has the light tank and just outspots you. This is the biggest problem. Actually, I would like to like this map. And I don't think when I spawn on it like, oh, it's that horrible. It's that horrible. But normally, during the match, I think, oh shit, that map is actually horrible. So I would put Malinovka actually in D tier. Because it's another camp fest which doesn't help active players, aggressive players to play the map. It's always the most passively defending team which wins. And that is not how it should be, in my opinion. It should be like the more aggressive and skilled team should win, and not the guys who are just standing behind a rock and wait, or behind thousands of trees and wait until the enemy crashes into them. That makes the map really bad, in my opinion. Next map, which is not really much talked about, is actually Province. Well, it's a low tier map, but still I want to make my point about it. You can spawn here, or you can spawn there. And then it's just like, you can put some tanks in this area, you can put some tanks in this area. Very fast tanks might try to go up here, and then in this region. Your north part team will go up here, maybe, and reach this point, and that's it. Then it's just camping. It's just camping, shooting each other, but at least the low tier matches are a little bit faster. So the big defense line is normally here, and around this area here, and yeah. Normally, it goes pretty fast because low tiers like to rush into each other. But if both teams are playing passively, this map can almost stay forever. And you have no active chance to get the enemies out of those camping areas. So let's see where we will put Province. And I would put it also directly into D tier. Because, well, it can be faster because of the low tier matches. But in the end, the whole concept of the map is so stupid. You can't play the middle part at all. The central of the map is impossible to play. And just camp at both sides and try to shoot at each other, roll the dice. And with sometimes horrific gun handling at the low tiers, it's just no joy to be put on this map, in my opinion. So I don't want to make this video too long, that's why I will cut it here. There will be around 4 to 5 maps with every episode I will discuss. I hope it will be helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will tune in next time. Thanks guys for watching, and cheers bros.